Many people say love is about giving, but sometimes some people give too much and others take until there is nothing left. In the heart of Abuja, where luxury estates kiss the skyline and dreams are supposed to come true, lived a woman who believed too deeply, gave too fully, and paid with everything, even with the body she lived in. This is the story of Lillian and Ebuka, and how her blood became the wine he toasted his success with. Lillian had always been the quiet one, not passive, just calm. She met Ebuka in the university. He was bold, always planning his next business idea. She was studying accounting, while Ebuka studied engineering, but rarely attended classes. They married young. She loved his ambition, and Ebuka loved her stability. After their wedding, they moved into a cramped one-bedroom apartment on the outskirts of Gwarinpa. Lillian worked two jobs: daytime at a tax firm, evening at a laundry shop. Ebuka tried and failed at three businesses in 5 years: event decor, phone accessories, and eventually a logistic idea he swore would change their lives. But every time he failed, Lillian stayed. She patched up with their broken finances, hid from her family, and encouraged him again. It was on a rainy Wednesday evening when Ebuka came home silent. He tossed the document on the table. A new contract, 15 million. I just need 5 million to kickstart it. If I miss it, someone else will take it. Lillian had 600,000 in savings. They had no collateral. No one would give them a loan. For the next 3 days, Ebuka barely ate. He paced, stared at the walls, muttered to himself. That Friday, Lillian made a call she had never thought she would make. She dialed a number saved as Mercy Clinic. But Mercy was no nurse. Lillian met Mercy 2 years ago through a friend. Mercy arranged private organ matches for clients in India and Dubai. Lillian's voice trembled. Can you still arrange a deal? Mercy didn't ask so much questions. You will get 5.3 million, but you must pass the test, and it stays secret. Within 2 weeks, Lillian signed the forms. Her blood was matched, her health evaluated. The doctor explained the risk, but she only half listened. She had already made up her mind. They flew her out under a different name. She told Ebuka she was attending a tax conference in Port Harcourt. She returned 6 days later with stitched wounds and 5 million naira in a brown envelope. Ebuka never asked how she got the money. Excitement didn't allow him to ask. So she used that opportunity to tell Ebuka that she had an unusual feeling while at the conference in Port Harcourt, which almost made her collapse. So the boss insisted that she saw a doctor. After necessary checkup, the doctor found out that she had appendix, which must be operated immediately. Ebuka asked Lillian why she didn't bother to tell him about all this, and Lillian replied, I didn't want to bother you because you already have a lot in your head. I know you're worried about the money, but the good news is that my boss decided to give me a loan, including this 5 million and the one I'm going to use for my surgery, to repay little by little from my monthly salary. Lillian arranged all these lies in a bid to cover up the scars she had during the kidney donation. Ebuka was excited knowing that God has answered his prayers through his wife. With that money, Ebuka's logistics company took off like wildfire. He branded it Swift Haul Nigeria, partnered with oil firms, and within 1 year, he had 10 trucks on the road and 2 offices. He dressed better, started drinking more expensive wines, gave speeches at business brunches. They moved to a duplex in Asokoro. Lillian quietly resumed work at her firm. Even though she often felt weak and dizzy, she blamed it on stress. In truth, her body was failing silently. One evening, Ebuka came home late, smelling like women's perfume. Lillian asked softly, "Where were you?" He scoffed. "Don't start, Lillian. I had meetings." Meetings now wore lipstick. 3 months later, Lillian found the first clue, an earring in his car, tucked between the seats. She said nothing. Then came the text messages she saw flashing on his phone screen. "I miss your arms. You left your tie here, baby." Still, Lillian did not say anything until one day she collapsed in the kitchen. Her body could no longer keep up with the lie. At the hospital, the doctor frowned as he read her file. "Madam, your remaining kidney is inflamed. You need treatment immediately. Why didn't you tell your husband?" She looked away. "He doesn't know," Lillian said. The doctor blinked. "He doesn't know you donated one kidney?" She whispered. "No, my husband doesn't know. He never asked." Lillian waited for the perfect moment. Maybe if she told him when he was calm, when they were alone, when he wasn't glued to his phone, laughing at the joke from someone else. That moment never came. Instead, she walked into his office one day with lunch and hope in a food flask. She caught him kissing his secretary. The woman didn't flinch. Ebuka simply adjusted his tie. "This isn't what it looks like," Ebuka said. "But it was." "I gave you everything, Ebuka," Lillian said, her voice cracking. Ebuka replied with venom. "You gave me what? You have been dragging me down with your mood swings and sickness. You want to guilt me into staying because you helped me in the beginning? Please." That night, Lillian took her time. She wrote a letter. No accusation, no insult, just facts. She revealed the truth about the 5 million naira, the kidney, the pain, the deal. Then she gave it to their lawyer, Mr. Ono, with instructions. "If anything happens to me, give him this." She returned home, silent as always. Her body was failing, her spirit was sleeping, but she didn't want pity. She just wanted to be remembered. Ebuka did not come home for 3 days. When he finally did, he found Lillian collapsed in their bedroom, barely breathing. The hospital tried for hours, but her body was too weak. Her system was too burdened. She died at 2:17 a.m. The doctors said it was renal failure, complicated by untreated infections. Ebuka cried. Yes, he cried, but not out of guilt. He thought it was grief. Until 2 days later, Barrister Ono handed him the letter. As he read, Ebuka news buckled. "Wait, she did what? For me? That's where the money came from?" In the same envelope was a receipt, signed in her name, with the hospital stamp from Dubai, and beside it, a card from Mercy. He froze, because Mercy was his current girlfriend. The woman who arranged Lillian's kidney sales was the one sleeping with him in bed. Ebuka spiraled. He tried to confront Mercy, but she disappeared. His company began to crash. One of his trucks was involved in a major accident. Lawsuit followed. Clients pulled out. Then came the dreams. He saw Lillian in a white standing by a river. She never spoke, just stared at him with bleeding eyes. Every night, for weeks, until he sold the house, quit the company, and vanished from the scene of Abuja entirely. Some say he now lives alone in Lokoja, running a small shop, mumbling to himself at night. Others say he still writes letters to Lillian, burying them under the old trees. One letter was found and went viral. "I drank wine from a cup of blood and toasted success with the soul of the only one who truly loved me." Some women gave more than love. They give their health, their dreams, and even their bodies, believing they are building a future. But when love becomes a transaction, the debt never really clears. This was Lillian's story, and her blood still stains the lips of the man people made a toast without knowing what filled the cup. If this story touched you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more beautiful stories like this.